What's up everyone, it's a failed one! We're gonna continue playing some Lamento. We were having a deep conversation with Asato. And then, the sorrow reflected in Asato's face for some time now melted away. He smiled. Aww! So we come back and we get to see Asato smile right away. That's always a plus. He looks so cute. Konoe sighed unintentionally. Asato's eyes turned down, but his ears perked up and his tail shook in ease.
コノエを殺したら、俺はきっと一生自分を許せないと思う。長の命令でも嫌だ。だから、俺はコノエを殺したくないことを諦めない。
What? So he's still gonna... He still wants to kill us?
なんかそれちょっとおかしい。
I agree with Konoe. It doesn't completely make sense to me either.
そうか。
そうだよ。
Asato's genuinely confused face made Konoe want to laugh. He suppressed it and instead slightly narrowed his eyes.
変なやつだ。
He really is a weird guy, but that's what makes him super cute. He then put one hand on the ground and moved towards Asato's upper body, pushing the tip of his nose against Asato's shoulder even as Asato moved back in surprise. It was a sign of affection exchanged between friends. Aww. This game has just been like a lot of cuteness. Asato's eyes opened wide and he froze, overcome with surprise. Not thinking it was that shocking, Konoe was a little confused. Then Asato suddenly turned to a tree behind them and started to frantically sharpen his claws. Huh?
何してるんだ?
Yeah, seriously.
爪研ぎを。
それは見ればわかる。
Is there a reason to do that?
そうか。
Now it's all awkward again. Damn it! For a while, the dry sound of claws being sharpened on the tree continued. Konoe didn't really intend to stop him. He leaned against a protruding root at the large tree, casting Asato glances of amazement and confusion. As he watched him, he thought, why did the red shadow attack them? Obviously, Konoe was its target. Was it orchestrated by the third cat Fury had spoken of? Who knows? That was just the shadow, so they would soon have to deal with the devil's true form. He didn't understand. His irritation spiked along with his doubt. He was just one of the simple cats of Karo. Why him? Because he has... Well, that's obviously because he's got these tattoos and he's...
眠いのか?
Cursed cat? Asato asked him and Konoe opened his eyes again. Since when had he dozed off? In the corner of his mind, he had felt sleep beginning to creep in. Asato seemed to have finished sharpening his claws, and the shavings from the tree he'd done it on were now gathered up in a huge pile at his feet. The victimized tree now looked miserable with its thin and exposed appearance. He looked up at the sky, which appeared to have traces of white. Dawn would break soon, but he thought he wanted to rest a little more.
お前、どうする? この後だよ。
村には戻れない。俺が帰らなければ、今度は俺を始末するための追っ手がかかるはずだ。
In other words, you gotta keep running?
お尋ね者が2匹か。
He sighed, wondering what they should do now. Asato moved restlessly and turned his body towards Konoe. The pile of tree shavings collapsed helplessly.
お前はどうしたい?
俺はコノエと一緒がいい。
Ah, then I invite you to come along. Invite you to go along with Konoe. I think it'll be great, Asato muttered in a subdued voice. Although he had a bigger build that Konoe sometimes had his timid behavior struck him as odd. I think it's supposed to be although he had a bigger body than Konoe. That one was not my fault. Still, he supported his decision. If he rejected the elders' orders, they didn't need to fight. On top of that, he didn't know if something like that red shadow would appear again. He needed to work on his fighting skills. Above all, he didn't want to travel alone any longer. Asato's honestly was reassuring. Asato turned a timid and questioning gaze towards him. Ooh. Sign on purpose? Or, well then, it's decided. I think we're good. Well, I already said beforehand. I think it's decided. You're coming along. We like this.
じゃあ、決まりだな。
Asato's ears perked up and his ears shifted towards him. His tail stuck straight out. After that, he turned around again and faced the tree trunk, raising his claws to it. More torment for him, his strong claws made the tree way more pitiful. Poor tree. Konoe used his tail to dust away the wood shavings around Asato, indirectly hinting for him to stop. Instead of just going, hey, can you quit it? It's like, now that we're together, but hey, can you quit it?
こら。
Oh, there we go. Maybe it's just a nervous behavior, actually. He purposely gave a lengthy sigh with an annoyed face at Asato, whose shoulders lowered. But why did his heart feel slightly lighter? He felt as though some of the dark gloom engulfing him had been diminished. It all came out with the sigh. Just the idea of not being alone made him feel at ease. It was mysterious because when he was alone, he wasn't bothered by it and even thought he was better off. After that, he rested his body and looked up at the trees surrounding them. The moon of shadow was setting to the left, which meant Ranson was straight ahead. He wanted to get going as soon as the moon of light started rising. Asato insisted on keeping watch first, so Konoe had climbed high into a tree. He wanted to look out over a greater distance. As long as he can get down, because he is a cat. Konoe sat at the base of a thick branch and leaned against the trunk. A magnificent sea of forest spread out before his eyes. It stirred beneath him like a living creature. While he watched, sleep gradually overtook him. He wondered if Asato was also asleep. While thinking about these things, Konoe sank into a deep sleep. Konoe awoke to a glaring light. He dropped his eyebrows and looked around. The light of dawn shone down on Konoe's face. It must have woken him up. If he hadn't even realized, he'd fallen asleep. After taking a big stretch, he looked down below. He'd promised to switch watch with Asato halfway through the night, but since Konoe had fallen asleep, maybe Asato didn't want to wake him up again. Or he fell asleep too. But no matter how much he looked for him, Asato was nowhere to be found. Oh no. Why is this? Where did he go? Asato? Where had he gone? Konoe had suddenly got a bad feeling. It couldn't be. Had Akira and pursuer come before dawn? If that was the case, Asato must have left to lure the pursuer away. It was something he didn't want to think about. That actually does sound like him, though. He'd be like, oh, but chase me! Konoe clicked his tongue and cursed his own stupidity for falling asleep. Seized by a sense of guilt, he wanted to go look for Asato right away, but immediately he gave up on that idea. Maybe Asato would come back on his own. Konoe calmed his brash impulse and leaned against a tree trunk. But after some time passed, he still didn't feel Asato's presence returning. And not knowing what else he could do, he jumped down from the tree, deciding to move on for a little while. He wanted to look for Asato if possible, but it wouldn't be a good idea to do that in this forest. He couldn't just walk around calling out his name. It would be okay, Asato was strong, he convinced himself. He is, but still. Hoping they'd meet again, Konoe began to walk northward. Damn it, Konoe was supposed to have like a buddy, finally. And he ends up being all alone before he could even really start his journey all over again. Faint light poured through the gaps of the overlapping trees of the leaves. The moon of light floated in the sky, having already passed over him. There were markings on the tree trunks, but since there were so many of them, their meaning was completely lost. He couldn't tell where he was now. He was getting lost, and he would probably starve to death or be killed by monsters or bandits. Oh no, don't let that happen. He felt resigned to his fate as he walked. Suddenly his nerves stirred and his fur stood on end. He stopped and quickly looked around. There was something here. It was trying to hide its presence, but he could feel it. A faint killing spirit floated through the air. Konoe lowered her stance and dropped a hand to his sword. He felt like it wasn't the first time he'd experienced this. Who was it? His ears laid flat and his tail stood on end as he readied his sword. Uh-oh. A gust of wind stirred past his eyes, cutting the thread of tension. Damn it already! Scathing light flashed overhead, sparks flew, and a numbness spread through his arm as though his very bones were quivering. Ooh, it's a white-haired dude. Close to the crossed swords was a single transparent blue eye. It was that silver-haired cat. A shiver ran up his spine. That momentum's power loosened and he pushed hard against the sword. The silver-haired cat was expressionless, not even twitching an eyebrow. Konoe took a step back. He wondered just where this cat's strength was coming from. Feeling like he was being pushed back and overpowered, Konoe gathered all his power in his lower body and strongly repelled the sword. He then jumped back as his shoulders heaved with his rough breathing. Konoe glared at the silver-haired cat. His arms still felt numb. His mind wandered and his sword lowered, but the silver-haired cat remained unaffected as though nothing had happened. His features were just as Konoe remembered, sharp, with a dignified coldness to them. His piercing gaze robbed Konoe of his breath. Konoe felt a heavy pain in his chest. His heart began to beat strongly. It couldn't be. Was this empathy? Of this cat's emotions? Always, in the middle of a fight or in the middle of something really big happening, obviously this is when everything, these emotions are going to come in and then Kanoa is going to be distracted. Ba-dum, ba-dum. The pulsing resounded through his body. He was coming, pain as if his chest was being crushed. Nausea welled up, his head ached. Everything torturing his body came from the cat standing before him. Sweat ran from his temple to his cheek. Suddenly, the shadow of a snake flashed across his mind. He felt something wriggling in the depths of his stomach. The silver-haired cat slowly raised his sword. Konoe could read no emotion from his face, but flowing out of him were waves of intense fighting spirit, rage, and the urge to kill, and then a pulse of strange feelings of enjoyment. So this guy is a total killer. That's all I can understand from his feelings. He wants to kill, and he loves the feeling of killing. He enjoyed this, fighting, but no matter how much he looked, he could read nothing from the silver-haired cat. Ooh, a strong sense of strange joy. Become full of sadness. This is rather pleasant. I guess a strong sense of strange joy, because I don't know, well, sadness doesn't fit. Rather pleasant, well, we'd be getting turned on by his killing, but I guess we're not, so a strong sense of a strange joy. It greatly aggravated him, this flux of emotions. It was unpleasant. It stirred Konoe's anger through his empathy. Not to mention the strange feeling of joy. The joy was more unpleasant than the anger. His vision blurred. It was like the pain was singeing his nerves. Singeing his nerves. The still silver-haired cat's shadow swayed. He moved. An ear-piercing sound echoed, then vanished into the trees. An eerie silence followed. They fought sword to sword. The sword pushed against Konoe's had the The sword pushed against Konoe's had a short blade. The silver-haired cat reached behind his back with his other hand and swiftly pulled out the long sword he was armed with. Dude, he's almost like a ninja. Damn it, Konoe recalled too late. This cat fought with two swords. He had forgotten while he was enduring the agony of his empathy. He lifted his long sword high above his head. Konoe's blade was still caught by the edge of the dagger. He sensed a slight smile on the other cat's lips. Well, if he's enjoying this, he's gonna be smiling. Ignoring his aching body, Konoe roared with all of his might. With a strength that he thought would split his muscles, he repelled the dagger, then twisted his upper body as he ducked. At the same time, he used his free sword to catch the incoming longsword's blow, a high-pitched sound rattling his eardrums. The silver-haired cat withdrew a step, then charged while using his dagger as a shield. Konoe jumped back, blocking his opponent's incoming attacks in quick succession. His feet became entangled, and he almost fell back. Just like he thought, his opponent was strong, his fluid movements were almost beautiful, and Konoe felt captivated. While the empathetic pain raged on, Konoe was forced to keep defending. If he couldn't somehow gain control of the situation, he'd lose. The cat with the silver hair fixed his eye on Konoe to challenge him, his pupil narrowed to a slit. Konoe evaded the blade his opponent swung by crouching down, then stepped in towards the silver-haired cat. He bared his fangs and growled threateningly, then lashed out with the claws of his other hand. His opponent moved aside and avoided the blow, but Konoe kicked the ground and jumped into the trees, kicking up against their trunks to leap into the air. These cats they really know how to fight. Konoe says he doesn't know how, he's not very good at fighting, but damn, he's actually keeping up and keeping his life too. A sharp pain ran through his chest, but there was no time to be concerned about it. Below him was the silver-haired cat's back. His opponent turned around immediately. Most likely he'd counterattack. Either way, Konoe didn't know if he'd hit his mark. But he had to, or he'd only be pushed backward. It was a weak gamble. With the moon of light on his back, he raised his sword high above his head. Silvery white hair approached before his eyes. Just as Konoe thought he'd caught him, his shadow had already disappeared. Konoe clicked his tongue as he landed. He felt movement behind him. As soon as he turned around, he felt wind and saw a gleam of light. He heard the sharp sound of tearing fabric and heat ran up his arm. Oh shit. He'd been cut. Damn it! Kanoe fought off the silver-haired cat's sword and jumped back. He clutched his arm. It was gushing heat. Confusion and irritation disabled his thoughts, but the silver-haired cat didn't attack any further. That's all you wanted to do? Just attack? Like, just get one hit? The silver-haired cat opened his mouth and a dignified voice pierced through the depths of Konoe's ears. When Konoe's fur bristled, the silver-haired cat smirked slightly. He sheathed his dagger at his waist and lifted his coat. On his exposed arm stood a distinguished red cut. When he came close, had Konoe managed to hit him? He was so distracted he didn't even notice. The pain of empathy faded away and Konoe felt a strange, uplifting sense of elation instead. The silver-haired cat, he'd wanted to meet him again, but he'd never imagined it would be like this. The silver-haired cat used his pale finger to trace his wound, catching the dripping blood and licking it off. Damn, is he trying to be sexy? Because his skin and hair were both so pale, the red of his blood and tongue left a vivid impression.
お前、どこの猫だ? 名前は?
The cat sternly fixed his eye on Konoe. Konoe was offended by his arrogant tone. Yeah. You're supposed to introduce yourself first, sir. Doesn't matter how good you look.
そっちが先に名乗れ。聞いているのは俺だ。
Yeah, but be polite. What was with this guy? Konoe frowned at his arrogant words.
お前、この間の猫だろ。例の一つもなしにその態度か。いい度胸だな。
Come on.
誰も頼んだわけじゃない。
よく言う。
The silver-haired cat stuck his sword into the ground and smiled condescendingly at him. Kanoa's stomach suddenly felt hot. Before he admired the silver-haired figure, but now he felt stupid for even entertaining the thought.
あの時俺が入らなければお前はやられていた。それとも死にたかったのか。
That still does not give him the attitude to be arrogant, like... He grit his teeth, his tail swelled out thickly as he growled low in the depths of his throat. The silver-haired cat's lips curved into a thin smile of amusement.
そう熱くなるな。すぐに頭に血が上る猫は早死にするぞ。周りが見えなくなりやすい。
うるさい。あんた、一体何なんだ。俺になんか用でもあるのか。
噛みつき癖もあるか。
Okay, it's like he's treating Konoe as an actual cat. What was this guy's problem? Konoe knew he was being provoked, but that didn't calm his irritation at all.
黙れ!
Ignoring the wound on his arm, Konoe once again stepped towards the silver-haired cat. He lunged out, but his attack was easily avoided. It was clear that even though the other cat moved to take a step, it wasn't his real intention. That fanned the flames of Konoe's anger even more. In that moment, he recklessly smashed his sword into nothing. Thrusting his sword out made him lose his balance. In the split second he tried to get back up, he felt something knocking his feet back. Ugh. Now he's just beating him and being like, "Ha, see, I told you." Even more arrogant. He thought his body floated in the air, but before long his shoulder hit the ground. He'd been tripped. When he tried to get up, a sharp wind passed by the side of his face. A dull sound followed. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw a sword thrust into the ground.
こんな見えすいた足払いに引っかかるか。今言っただろ。頭に血が上りやすい猫は早死にする。
お前。
Resting both hands on the hilt of the sword, the silver-haired cat looked down at Konoe. Ah, jeez, goddammit. I hate arrogant guys, but he's being that kind of arrogant that I kind of like now. Like, I'm teasing you. And he looks really good from this angle. Do not steal my heart, you bastard.
もう一度聞くぞ。お前はどこの猫で、何という名前だ。
Yeah, Chuo really knows how to get a guy to go after you. Because my heart just switched. I mean, I still don't like him, and it's still very mean of him to be arrogant, and I don't think it's right, but it's one of those moments where I'm like, I don't like you, damn it. My heart be beating real fast, though.
強情だな。
なんでそんなこと知りたがる。
It's become a battle of pride at this moment.
自分に傷をつけた猫のことだ。知りたがっても別段おかしくはない。
そんなに自分の腕に自信があるのか。
俺の話はどうでもいい。今はお前のことを聞いている。言え。
So mean. Cold light dwelled in the eye of the cat, who looked at Konoe, overwhelmed by the daunting power in them. Konoe kept silent. A strand of silver hair flowed down over the cat's shoulder, gleaming in the sunlight.
俺はあまり気が長い方じゃない。顔に穴を開けたいのなら、このまま黙っている。
Seriously mean. Kanoa was seized with the impulse to lunge up and bite him. Really, what was this guy? He just appeared suddenly and already treated him like this? It didn't make sense. He was being forced, so he didn't want to just open his mouth. But he didn't think the silver-haired cat was joking. He really thought he'd be pierced with that sword if he didn't answer. He lifted his head, barely swallowing his pride. He'd comply. For now.
コノエ、カローの猫だ。
カロか。
Yes, Karo, now leave us alone.
答えただろ。剣をどけろ。
The silver-haired cat gradually disappeared from his sight. What? He just left? When he tried to raise his body on his elbows, a dull pain ran through Konoe's shoulders. It was probably from when he was knocked down. He endured the pain and checked the place where he'd been cut. Just as he thought, it was very deep. It had already started to scab. Oh, it wasn't very deep. At least, but still. Konoe let out his tension with a short, irritated sigh. He cast a sharp look to the silver-haired cat standing before him.
今度はあんたの番だ。名前は
ライダ。
So this is Rai.
出身は
節。
Satsura. They had the bloodlines of the large-sized species. His gaze moved to Rai's white tail. It was a lot different from Konoe's. Large and bushy. His ears were a different shape too. They are cute. His ears.
なんで突然俺の目の前に現れた。いきなり仕掛けてきた理由は。
うるさい猫だな。質問が多い。だが悠長に答えている時間はなさそうだ。
Rai's pupils narrowed instantly once he spoke. Someone was there. Damn. And I'm gonna leave the episode here before another character jumps in or we get into another fight or whatnot, because apparently that's all Konoe can do. It's pretty annoying. Well, I mean, annoying for him, like he's trying to run away and then things just keep happening. But, I mean, we met the arrogant choice. We have the sweet guy choice, and now we have our arrogant choice. So, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!